Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now February 26th of 2025, and there's been a lot of drama going on between Meghan Markle, the Netflix executives, the board of directors, including CEO Greg Peters, and everything else going on in between for the upcoming show With Love Meghan that is still set to debut on March 4th of this year. It's already considered a production nightmare based on everything that has been going on between the failed test screenings and the ongoing demands by Meghan Markle for the marketing campaign that is going to be an ever-failing disaster. However, when it comes down to the Pamela Anderson situation, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to her, and we actually touched on a minor altercation that happened between herself and Meghan Markle months and months ago. If you guys remember, we talked about that, and now things are beginning to balloon over all the drama between Pamela's cooking show and Meghan Markle's cooking show. Let's jump into this, shall we? This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle is that, yes, we already know that she is not only greedy, insufferable, narcissistic, but self-absorbed, and truly one that copies others. Alright, this is a typical tendency of Meghan Markle, is copying others, stealing ideas and applying it to her own brands, or whatever you want to call them, ideas or shows or creations. Whatever she makes is stolen from others. And With Love Meghan is another prime example of what she actually stole from a specific individual, such as Pamela Anderson, and why Anderson has a lot of issues with Meghan Markle. We actually had a little bit of talk about this like 3 to 4 months ago, and now it's beginning to truly blow up when it comes to everything happening between the two. Let's jump into this. Now, again, like I said before, with, of course, everything going on right now, and now that the series With Love Meghan is going through record-breaking backlash for Netflix, and how Meghan Markle has only been making things worse behind the scenes, one major development going on now involves both Meghan Markle and Pamela Anderson. It turns out that there is more to the story between both Pamela and Meghan than the trades. Already, Pamela Anderson, her agent and manager, had accused Meghan Markle and Netflix of copying her show Pamela's Cooking with Love, since Pamela claimed that her trailer was copied nearly frame by frame, along with stealing the concept of the title. Now, you may or may not know this, but Pamela's trailer came out in October of last year. Meanwhile, Meghan's came out in January of this year. Now, there was indeed a clash between both Meghan Markle and her team against Pamela's, where Meghan Markle shockingly claimed that her show took inspiration, quote-unquote, inspiration from Pamela's marketing campaign, and Pamela's claims that she didn't copy anything and grew very frustrated with Pamela, calling out Meghan Markle and Netflix. Now, Pamela is reportedly furious with Meghan Markle's obtuse response, claiming that she only took inspiration from Pamela's cooking show With Love series, which debuted just yesterday. Already now, the Netflix board of directors are beginning to panic, since the public is beginning to recognize the obvious signs of what Meghan Markle and her creative team demanded Netflix to do for her show to make the series into something of her own. It turns out that Meghan did indeed not only steal the title from Pamela's, get this, Cooking with Love. Does it sound familiar to you? Cooking with Love Meghan, you get the drill. However, still, on top of that, but also the reshoots that were done toward the tail end of 2024, we actually talked about this around, I would say, December or November, you guys may recall, and how she was actually taking ideas from many different sources of other cooking shows out there. Turns out, a lot of it had to do with Pamela Anderson's, were specifically designed by Meghan Markle to copy some shots from Pamela's cooking show. So the reshoots were specifically designed for that purpose. Even some dialogue in Pamela's show was copied word by Meghan during the reshoots at the very end of 2024. Pamela's trailer for her series, like I said earlier, was released in October, with the public now recognizing the similarities between Meghan's show and Pamela's. Already, Anderson and her entire team are beginning to get into contact with Meghan Markle and Netflix again, and they are even warning them of creating a legal case toward Meghan Markle. Already, the drama between Pamela and Meghan is now beginning to escalate, since this is now being recognized through millions of people. Now, guys, again, like I said earlier, Pamela Anderson, I think, is really going to go hard on this situation. She's really not going to let go of it, because now the public is beginning to catch on. And we talked about this months and months ago. You guys may or may not remember, but we actually talked about how there was a minor argument between Pamela and Meghan Markle. At the time, nobody, including myself, really thought anything about it. And now it's beginning to all make sense about what's beginning to break, what's beginning to actually come out behind closed doors, and everything else between With Love Meghan and Pamela's Cooking with Love. Now, it turns out that Pamela was fully aware about Meghan Markle's tendencies of stealing concepts from others and is not giving her the benefit of the doubt, and her show for With Love Meghan, which releases on March 4th. To make matters worse for Meghan's sake, is that Pamela Anderson is planning to step forward to the public in around, get this, 2 weeks from now, as a form of a PR to address the issues for With Love Meghan as a show, and Meghan Markle and her team at Netflix that copy many elements of her series, including the title of her show, Pamela's Cooking with Love. And again, I mean, if you couldn't actually see more evidence as to why or how Meghan Markle copied her show, it's right there in the title. She can use the word inspiration all she wants. We all know what she tends to do. This is typical Meghan Markle, and sure, you have a lot of people out there that believe Meghan Markle copying others is just all media hype. It's not. This is another very big piece of evidence that this is exactly what she does all the time, and this is by far the biggest comparison in 2025. The fact that there is this clash going on behind the scenes between Pamela and Meghan that is now beginning to erupt. Back in like November or December, it was a very minor thing going on. We touched on that a little bit. We really didn't think anything of it at the time, and now we can see exactly why it's building up and why Pamela is growing very furious with the fact that Meghan and her show is getting a lot more attention than Pamela's because, well, it's Netflix, right? So here's what's interesting about this, is that on top of everything, Pamela was reportedly appalled over how Meghan used the term inspiration instead of stolen, and it shows just how insufferable Meghan Markle truly is and has been behind the scenes over at Netflix and why so many studios are dropping her. And you know what? She deserves everything that is happening to her when it comes to movie studios, whether it's the film industry, providing her roles that are either small or cameo form, dropping her from those roles, or commercial studios that are dropping her. We talked about that many times. It is an ongoing thing. People are dropping her like flies. They don't want her anymore. They don't even want to deal with Meghan Markle because she is very difficult to work with, and her agent, her manager, they're beginning to panic as well because what else can you do at this point? Her whole image, whatever's left of it, not that there was that much to begin with, is beginning to implode. It is not working for her to remain in the limelight, to remain in the spotlight, or in her point of view as relevant, is now vanishing into thin air. It's not working at all in the least, and it's going to only get worse once the show debuts on March 4th. And the Pamela Anderson situation is not helping one bit. Now, like I said before, Pamela's show just debuted. I believe it was just yesterday, and it's kind of funny because the Meghan Markle show is getting more publicity because, like I say, it's Netflix, right? It's not just like things like the Food Network, it's Netflix. So that's why, Meghan Markle's show is getting propped up more through marketing and through word of mouth. It also has a lot to do with the drama, yes, but just the sole fact that it's on Netflix gave her a one-up, that's for sure. That's just a given fact. But I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.